welcome to On the Ed Sun. So this is the morning after the game last night. Everton away. West Ham went up there with a new manager, a new look. What do we think? Did Nuno Espirito Santo, did he unleash hell? Did he bring the hell? Were the players there? Did they show a lot more of a fight, a lot more grit? As soon as the game started, I could see an immediate difference in the way we shaped up, in our tactical plan, and the way we just went after them and we closed down. Before the game, I'd said it's most likely to be a 4-5-1. I think I actually read out in a previous video exactly what the starting lineup would be. Kyle Walker-Peters, Mavropanos, Kilman, Juve for the back row, Areola in goal, Paqueta, Fernandez, Magas in the middle, Bowen on the right, Somerville on the left, and the lone striker there would be Fulkrug, and that would play into what we've seen before from Nuno Espirito Santo. That's exactly how it came up, and I thought it was kind of working well. Up until the point that they scored their goal, and I'll get into that in a minute, I thought we were defending resolutely. I think we were pretty compact. But what I wasn't expecting was for us to come out quickly and get after them and transition up the field a lot quicker. We've been so used to Lopetegui, especially Potter. It's just been so slow, so ponderous getting up the field, and you're like going, bloody hell, just get on with it, right? Well, I've seen something already within the first 10-15 minutes that's made me feel that, no, there's no messing around here. It's just get up the field. And this is what I was saying before the game. What I'd be really disappointed is if we can defend resolutely, but then we do nothing. We don't come out quickly. And this is what we did. We got out of our defensive setup. We pushed up the field. Yes. Granted, lots of mistakes, lots of wayward passes, lots of, sometimes Areola would clear from his goal kicks, and they've just losing possession straight away, or would they go out? So, Nuno said after the game, he said, look, there's a lot to work on here. There's some good points, there were some bad points, or he said they're not so good points. He kind of corrected himself a little bit. No, I would say bad points, Nuno. You're absolutely right. There were some bad points. It's not all fantastic, right? And he said there's a lot to work on. Absolutely right, there's a lot to work on here. But what I saw was, overall, was a lot more grit, a lot more fight, a lot more harder to beat. And he made us into a team last night that weren't a bunch of mugs. That's it. We weren't a bunch of mugs. We went out there and we did what we had to do. Now let's get back to the goal that we conceded. Again, defensively, in those set piece areas, or when we're under any kind of pressure from any kind of cross, whether it's from a corner, whether it's from a set piece, whether it's from a free kick, we've got a lot to work on there, because their player was completely unmarked. In fact, our defence didn't get anywhere near him, didn't put him under pressure. You see, he had a free header. Now, should Areola have done better? Possibly, but it was a fine header, but he was unchallenged. He wasn't being marked properly. So they fell asleep there just a little bit. But I thought at that point, oh, here we go. Let the floodgates open. Let it all come onto us. But they didn't. They held their nerve. They kept on battling away. In fact, I thought we created quite a few chances. Everton did as well. Don't get me wrong. And I thought it was quite an open game. In fact, as the game went on, there was a lot more spaces. It seems as if the pitch had opened up so much that, there were lots of players having lots of space. Second half, I actually thought West Ham had the better of it. Yeah, Everton still had their moments, but I thought West Ham had the better of it. It actually gave me a lot of encouragement to see us actually defending okay, but actually trying to get that ball forward. I thought Somerville was doing all right. I thought Juve had a fantastic game, again, with his crosses, with his runs. Paqueta, I thought, was there was effort, there was endeavour, but a little success at times. And I think, I think Nuno needs to work on Paqueta in terms of what is his end product, what is he actually trying to do, get clear in his mind, because I think a lot of the time he was receiving the ball. This is my impression. Let me know if you agree. But I thought that he was getting the ball and then he didn't really know what to do with it. He was trying to keep possession and sometimes to give the ball away and sometimes as a wayward pass. And sometimes it would come off, right? But there was a lot of times where I just saw him and I thought, what are you trying to do? Well, you're going nowhere. You're not doing it. You're just sort of static there. There isn't anything. You're not looking for the pass. So I think hey, 2 days in under Nuno Espirito Santo, what do we expect, right? But these are the things that obviously he's got to identify that we need to work on in terms of what is our game plan, what is each individual player going to do, how are they going to feed off into other players in terms of going forward. What is the plan, as opposed to kind of hit and run, and it wasn't so much long ball at times, but there was seems to, okay, hit and hope, let's see how we go. And other times it wasn't that at all. It was actually, you could see there was a plan. Out to Somerville, out to Bowen. Fernandez I thought was decent. Magassa, the problem with Magassa here is that I think there was a lot of endeavour, there was a lot of effort at times, and I thought at times there was some good things he was doing. But we got to watch him. We kind of already knew this as well, that on one hand I really liked it, and I like this from a lot of the players, that they were getting stuck in. There were yellow cards going in. They were making it hell. They were bringing the hell as Nuno wanted, right? But I think the problem with Magassa is that he's in that central role and he can easily give away too many free kicks, and probably he can get a yellow card, maybe a couple of yellow cards. I thought that he was due for a second yellow card last night. I thought that we were going to be down to 10 men at one stage. And to bring him off by Nuno, I think it was right. It was not necessarily that I thought he was having a terrible game. I didn't think he had the best game. I didn't think he was terrible in that respect. But I think it was a case of Nuno saying, no, I've got to bring you off now because you're getting a bit wayward here. That was my impression. Let us know what you think as well. Fulkrug, I thought, had a decent game. He was very close on a couple of times, just to getting a foot on the end of a cross, especially from Juve, and getting the ball in the back of the net. Bowen's goal, again, great, fantastic. Juve, again, brilliant from him coming in. We're already loving Juve, aren't we? As a fan base, we're already loving Juve. And then Bowen obviously cracks up. I saw Bowen being a lot more verbal last night as well, and I like that. I like that. I still don't believe he should be the captain. I still don't believe his position in particular, not necessarily Bowen, but his position should be captain. But I liked it that he's being a lot more verbal with the players. In fact, I think all the players were being more verbal with each other. They were communicating a lot more. It's a good start. It's a great start. But be under no illusion that it's, we're not always going to have success under this, under Nuno, playing this way. I thought at times our defending was desperate. I thought at times we were, we were clear in our lines, but we weren't really that positive in what we wanted to do going forward. But what we were doing was going forward at pace and clearing out defence a lot of times really, really quickly. This classic counter-attacking. I just don't think we had the quality of counter-attack that he, let's say, showed at Nottingham Forest especially. So it's early days, but I think that's going to be developing, and we're going to see that a lot more. If we're going to get better, he still needs to work on defensive partnership. I'm not sure Mavropanos and Kilman is the answer. What I saw last night, I would say that we're missing somebody. I mean, right at the death, he kind of closed up shop. He bought on Irving and he bought on Igor. I didn't see enough of them, certainly of Igor, to kind of form an opinion, in all fairness. There's only a couple of minutes to go. And, we were kind of on the top, and you kind of wonder, okay, should we have brought those two players on? Should we have really tried to challenge to the end? I'm not going to slate Nuno for that, because I thought Everton was still having the opportunities as well, and they could have easily scored at the end themselves. It was one of those games that any team could have created a chance right at the last minute and scored a goal. Rainy Boy, I didn't see the game, but my mate said the second half was good for West Ham. Good to see new lineup with pace. Yeah, exactly my thoughts. The second half, definitely. We seem to find our game. We seem to understand. And Nuno also got them in half time, and he's had a good chat with them. You know, this is my impression from Nuno, just from one game, and I kind of reserve judgment of what I've until I've actually seen a game. I liked that he was up. He was animated. He was, you know, he's talking with his coaching staff. Granted, they're not his coaching staff. They're from the under-21s. But he was directing the players. He's going to Callum Winston, right, go on, you go now, warm up. It was very matter of fact, straight to the point. He knew what he wanted to do. And I think what he's done, he's gone there and stuck a rod up right up their asses and said, look, he's basically gone in there and said, you lot have been crap. The way you've been playing has been crap. And your tactics have been rubbish and they're not working for you. This is how we're going to do it, and this is how you're going to play. And tonight you've got to show it. And by God, they showed it. I thought they showed it. Now, was it always successful? No. As he said, was there a lot still to work on? Absolutely. We're not expecting miracles here. But there was enough there to give me hope that against the lesser teams, let's say, in other words, the teams in and around us in the Premier League, that I think we're going to do quite well. If we play like that, with that sense of urgency, with that sense of go get them, and as he was saying, every ball is a contestable ball. There should be no ball that the opposition has that is free for them to play. We should be at them all the time, and I get it. Paul, I enjoyed the fight shown by us. Completely agree. Under Potter, after the first goal, we would have collapsed, so it was nice. 100%. I thought there was a marked difference between the way we were playing last night in terms of going forward, especially going forward, and Potter. Under Potter, it was just kind of, well, what are we doing? It was going side to side, back, up a little bit, back a little bit. Whereas this, no, is a lot more direct. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's a lot more direct. Your volume needs to go up, Ed. I think you need to turn the volume up on your device. I think more's the point. I'm flashing red here with my mic, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. Turn up the volume, I would say, and I think that's what Nuno did last night. He turned up the volume. He turned up the volume on the players. He turned up the volume in our energy and in our endeavour. Look, at the very least, what we've been saying for West Ham for the longest time, the players have got to show a fight. They've got to show grit and determination. And for me, that's exactly what Nuno Espirito Santo has done. He's come in and he said, I don't know if he said that we haven't got the quality, but what he said is, we haven't got the fight. You need to bring the fight. And that's exactly what he's done. Yeah, volume okay for you. Well, there we go. Thank you, Raf. So, look, I think it's one of those things that next game, Arsenal, that's going to be really tough, right? So, am I expecting anything in terms of result? I'll say right now, I'll say no. Probably in the week, I'll probably change my mind again. But what I am expecting, this is going to be a key thing for us, West Ham, under new manager, is that the key thing is that we still bring the fight every week. And we've got to make it, as he says, hell for opposition. And, you know, it's not about impressing, other teams, impressing pundits, impressing the club. It's about showing the fans that we mean business, that we're not mugs, we're not gonna be pushovers, and we're gonna be their worst nightmare. So you would imagine that Arsenal are going to play that really nice football that they're trying to play, and they're still trying to play it. And I was watching the game. I was doing my research for Arsenal against Newcastle. They should have had 4 or 5 really. Newcastle could have had a couple as well. But what it showed me was that they're still trying to look for the perfect pass. They're still trying to look for that perfect opportunity to get the ball in the back of the net. Whereas what I think we need to do, oh look, we've got aircraft flying over here. So yeah, that's what you might hear just now. So what we've got to do against Arsenal is upset that apple cart, is to make it really difficult for them and to keep them at bay and make sure it's only long-range efforts. If they're going to have a shot on goal, it's got to be a long-range effort. And if it beats Areola, because I expect Areola to be in goal, because I thought he had a decent game last night, apart from a few of his, a bit of his distribution I thought was wayward, but in terms of command in the area, coming out for crosses and everything, a couple of great saves from Areola last night. I'm going to be positive. This is a positive video, I've got to say. I thought Areola some great saves last night. So I think what was in front of him defensively, the defensive pairing again needs a lot of work. So I'm not 100% there. Cole Walker-Peters, Juve, I thought were great. I thought they were very decent defensively, and I thought they were great going forward, especially Juve. I thought in the centre, I thought Magassa was average to good. It wasn't terrible, but I think he could be a bit of a liability. I thought Fernandez was good. I thought Paqueta was, again, a little bit aimless at times, let's say. But I thought Bowen had a better game, not his best, although he got a great goal. I thought Somerville was good, and I thought Füllkrug led the line okay. But we're lacking up there as well. So look, there's stuff to work on. But it's about consistency now. It's about taking the fight each game to anybody who we're playing. And I think what I expect from us to go to Arsenal is give them a right good go. And it's going to be challenging. Hard tackles going in. And yeah, if we're picking up yellow cards, we do. But at the same time, we can't be reckless in there. It's got to be tailored aggression. It's got to be channeled aggression, and I'm hoping that's what he brings. But listen, did Nuno deliver a hellish performance, as I said in the title? I think he did. I thought he's changed it already. He's done something to our players and to our tactics, and there is a marked difference. Now, is this the kind of performance that we're going to be expecting every week? Possibly. For the next few weeks, for sure. What does this mean going forward? Well, we're probably going to be a lot tighter, a lot more structured defensively, especially as the months go on. He brings in different players. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a defensive change up in terms of new players coming in. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, we've got to get another striker. I wouldn't be surprised if we're actually getting youth coming through as well. It was great to see Potts come on. It was, it would be great to see more of these coming on as well. So, yeah, Potts came on, and there's a big shout here for Potts to start the next game over Magassa again. If Magassa, if you start to Magassa again, then Potts is the replacement as well. There was a lot more creativity there. There's a lot more better, and I think I think Potts did well. Paul, what you're saying, Potts was amazing last night. Yeah, he completing 15 out of 18 passes. Yeah, stats 83.3 accuracy and won both of his tackles, 100% success. I thought he played well, but look, coming on as a sub, as we know, and starting a game in two different things. We know that. So as an impact sub, he did well. Should he still be an impact sub? Possibly. It really depends if he starts with Magassa next game and wants to rough up the opposition a little bit. Maybe that's what we should be doing. Maybe that's it. Against the Arsenals, put Magassa in there, rough them up a little bit. Against, let's say, Brentford, it depends if Magassa has an indifferent game again, then you could say Potts to start against Brentford. Let us know your thoughts on that one. But I thought it was good that Potts came on. It's good that, we can see that Nuno is not afraid to bring these players on. Look, James Ward-Prowse wasn't there anyway. Souček's not there anyway. He's got one more game suspension, hasn't he? I believe. Is that right? Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see when Souček is available, what he does. In this setup, as we played last night, I'm not sure there's a position for Souček. I'm not sure if there is, because I think we need to be a lot more mobile. In fact, coming out of defence. Defensively, Souček would be an asset. Set pieces, Souček would be an asset. But in terms of open play, in terms of getting fast legs, pace on the pitch, he's not that guy. We know that. We know we had a problem with James Ward-Prowse and Souček in terms of pace. Paqueta isn't that fast either. So we need pace. We need energy in the centre of the park. So I'm not sure whether Souček features. I think possibly a sub, impact sub, possibly. Looking at set pieces, maybe so. But Paul, yeah, it's great to have the option both Magassa and Potts. completely agree. Being able to have one as sub keeps the midfield fresh throughout, and also provides competition as well. Also knows that whoever's on the pitch knows that there's somebody on the bench who can come and take their place at any stage. So listen, I was overall, I was content last night. I was content. Of course, I thought there was an opportunity for us to win the game. I'm not sure we would have deserved to win the game, but I think there was an opportunity to win the game. We were definitely creating chances, which was good. It was really good to see that we were working on our defence, but we weren't shy to go forward, and we weren't shy to put those crosses in, especially from Juve. I thought he had a fantastic game. Man of the match for me, Juve. I thought he had a fantastic game. And I've been saying this for weeks, and I've been saying it since I saw him against Tottenham, wasn't it? When he came up to us in the corner flag and he was going, come on, come on. And I tell you what, you kind of instantly warm to a player like that. And keep it going. That's what I would say for you. Keep it going. Keep on bringing that energy, because that kind of energy is infectious. And it spreads throughout the team, and it'll spread throughout the whole squad. And if Nuno can back that up with that kind of resolute attitude as well, to say, look, don't be mugs, stay in there with the fight, we could be a force to be reckoned with. Absolutely, we could be, but it might not necessarily be pretty football, right? This might be only a 2-3 year plan, a couple of years under Nuno. Right now, we just don't know. But in terms of completely changing the way we're playing and having a positive impact, I'd say yes, it's worked. It's worked already. Now, can we keep it up? Can we go? Can we improve on it? Can the style of football improve? The quality of going forward, the quality of defending, the quality of getting out from defence into midfield, and what we're going to do with it in midfield, and can we get it out to the wings? Are we just going to be one-dimensional, or are we going to be out to the wings? Juve pushing up to Summerfield, him taking on players, crossing the ball from the left, Bowen from the right, or are we going to look at those early diagonal passes, which I love that Krez used to do once or twice? Juve coming in, not even breaking through the halfway line and pumping the ball diagonal across. And then have we got somebody who can run onto it? Is Fulkrug fast enough to run onto it, or do we need somebody else in there? Callum Marshall getting onto the pitch and getting success. I mean, we just don't know, but we've got to see that kind of improvement as well. And if we can see that stronger defence, that good balance of stronger defence and open play, and we're getting the ball and it's fluid and we're not overthinking passes and things like that, I think we're onto a winner. I think we're onto a winner. But one game so far, just one game. Let's just reel it in, just pull on the reins a little bit. I would say let's just see how we do. Arsenal's going to be a tough game. We know that. We're not stupid, right? Arsenal's going to be a tough game. Let's see how we go. Ralph, I love the poster of the in-laws. Yeah, up until recently, that was Brady, Sullivan, and Potter. So we'll see. We'll see if Nuno gets up in there as well. We'll see that, shall we? Right. And with that, I suppose it's breakfast time is over. Let's get back to work, and that's what Nuno's doing. Getting back to work with this bunch of players, a bunch of misfits, and possibly not so much misfits anymore. Maybe we're finally going to get a team. Maybe we're going to start to make it difficult for other teams to play against us, and that's a good place to start in my book. That's a real good place to start. If you like what I do here, keep on watching. I'll catch you again. Bye now.